right, Mike from PWInsiderTV here. We're backstage with Nigel McGuinness at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Nigel, your documentary just came out a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
How do you feel about the response to it and just the overall overwhelming sense of support that you've gotten the entire way of this journey?
Overwhelming. You said it perfectly there. You know, I mean, it's so many wonderful emails and phone calls from people that said that it genuinely touched them. I think it resonated with so many people because it's not just a story about pro wrestling. It's a story about somebody with a dream that got ever so close but didn't quite just make it. And I think that's something that everybody can identify. It's arguably a unifying theme of the human existence, right?
Right. How emotional is it for you just to go back and kind of retrace all those steps and put all this down? Like, what was your long-term goal for this when you started working on the project, and how did it change for you as you went over that emotional journey again?
It was weird. It actually kind of gave me a distance. Oscar Wilde said that to be a spectator of your own life is to be free of the suffering of it. And I think to a certain extent, for me to be able to watch it from a distant perspective, I kind of got away from a lot of the emotion. Certainly when you watch something again and again and again, like 100 times, by the time you've seen the same scene 100 times, you almost become ambivalent to it, you know what I mean? So I think the two goals that I had were to have a positive piece about professional wrestling. This is something I spent my life pursuing, something that I've loved ever since I was 14 years old. I wanted to be a positive piece, something that people were going to come out and go, okay, I understand professional wrestling. Now, I understand, I may not like it, but I understand why people do. And on top of that, I wanted a positive message about changes in regards to the use of blood in professional wrestling.
Well, let me ask you this. Given your experiences, what should the changes be? Should there be hard rules across the board? Should there be some more leeway for guys working main events? Should they stop the matches and clean guys up the way WWE's doing now?
Yeah.
Like, in your mind, especially given your experiences, what should the criteria be at this point?
Well, it's difficult. It's very difficult because we're obviously a different company here in Ring of Honor than TNA or WWE is. We meet a few times a month. There are guys are wrestling elsewhere as well. I think in this day and age, and again, this is just my viewpoint, because of what happened to me, I feel as though I should express my viewpoint. You know what I mean? I think it would be amiss if I didn't. But that being the case, I understand everybody has their own right. If people want to ignore what I say, then again, that's their choice at the end of the day. The bottom line is, though, I believe people shouldn't be intentionally bleeding on shows. I just don't think there's a place for it in this day and age, given what we know about bloodborne viruses. And that being the case, at the same time, I don't think that if you're in a main event and somebody gets a bit of a bloody lip at the beginning, that should be the end of the match. There's no need for that. I think the guys should be tested on a fairly regular basis, vaccinated for everything they can be vaccinated for, and basically just protect the guys while at the same time making sure that the shows are still as entertaining, that people aren't going to go home feeling as though they've wasted their money. There is a way of doing it, but right at this point I can't be clear and concise with it. I think, as I said, the best way to start is say no more intentional bleeding, vaccinate the guys, test the guys as often as is workable.
All right, for those who haven't seen the film yet, give them information on how they can order it online.
Basically, I had a big lump load made for the Kickstarter reward finders. If you go to nigelwrestling.com, I'm selling the remainder off of there.
All right, nigelwrestling.com. Now, one final question for you. Obviously, Ring of Honor is coming up on its big anniversary show in Chicago. For you, as a former ROH champion, what's your favorite Ring of Honor memory?
So you cast aside, where did they go?
So many. It's really strange, making a documentary. I had a lot of those sort of thoughts about my career and everything else like that. And I think when I'm 65, when I'm grey and old, and I look back, it'll be those sort of human connections that I made because of my time in Ring of Honor that will really stand with me. A couple of people have emailed me and told me really personal things about how I touched their lives and how their life was for the better because of what I did, And I think those are the things that will really stay with me.
Awesome. Well, Nigel, thank you for your time. And everyone check out the documentary at nigelwrestling.com.
Yep.